God said to Moses, "Holy will you be, or holy am I, or God?" Rough translation, of course. Or all the mitzvot that are talked about, I can also write about that. So I decided to write about freedom. What brought me to this conclusion was the time of my Bar-Mitzvah itself, between Passover and Independence Day. During these days, I'm reminded of my freedom. But not only my freedom of all my companions to the Jewish faith. During Passover, we are reminded of our escape from slavery to freedom. But as we know, freedom doesn't come easily. It is something you work hard for. It wasn't enough just to escape from Egyptian tyranny. The Jewish people had wandered 40 years in the desert and 2,000 years in exile until they got their freedom or independence. Freedom is not only hard to obtain, it is also hard to maintain. This is not so clear to the younger generation, who take it for granted. Even though we live in a free country, there are still things that risk our freedom. Racism, corrupt government, and indifference are all part of our daily lives. They risk our physical and psychological freedom. Now that I learned about this through my Bar-Mitzvah studies, I intend on working to maintain my freedom and the freedom of others. I would like to thank my family who supported me through all of this, and everyone who helped me with my Bar-Mitzvah studies, like Maya and Dilon, who helped me here.
I wish I could say it in Hebrew, but I should say it in English. That with every boy that is being called to the Torah and every girl, I look for the moment where they stumble because they're touched. And now, while we're reading the words you wrote, I know that something moved in your inside, and I'm happy. I don't care about people making mistakes and reading, but I care very much for them to feel the importance of this moment in Jewish tradition. And as you read, I said to myself, "Zeu Maya, over, he's passing on," and I'm happy for you. And there's something perhaps in you being a little more than 13 that gives a bit of seriousness to your taking upon yourself, because you could have walked on into life without doing any ceremony. But there was a moment, maybe mom's insistence, maybe your own, that you said, no, here is an opportunity to share it with dear ones, and I don't want to give it up. And I'm glad you didn't. We're going to bless you because it's a blessed moment. First, I'll invite your mom to say some words of blessing. בבקשה, שרון.
First, I would like to thank all of you for coming and celebrating Guy's Bar-Mitzvah with us. It took a while. As you know, Guy is 14. And for me, when it is said it takes a village to raise a family, I do need to thank the grandparents and his aunt and uncle, Riley and Maruff, who helped make this possible. But here we are. Hooray! I would also like to ask all of you to have a little patience with me. For those of you who know me well, I tend to explain myself in a roundabout way and with a lot of hand motions. But I swear, I get to the point in the end. Like my son, I was not sure what to write or how to bless him. But unlike him, I have taken my inspiration from his Torah portion, Kedoshim. If I am not mistaken, this portion has one of the most mitzvot in it than any other portion. 52. Mitzvot. I have to admit that in my family, we haven't followed them all, that we even know all of them. Even though I'm pretty sure there is a list of the mitzvot somewhere in my house that my other son, Giora, got in his Bar-Mitzvah. But the mitzvot that I tried very hard to penetrate into my kids' heads are Ben Adam L'Chavero. I'm sure that some of them are still ringing in their heads, like treat others the same as you want to be treated, or if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. I have to admit that one falls to the side of the road sometimes, and I am sorry about that. Now, there are some things that I've told my kids over the years that must sound like a mitzvah that is a do not mitzvah. Like, but aren't. Like, do not touch mommy's glasses, they're not a toy. Or, don't ruckus. If someone gets hurt, I am not taking you to the hospital. Some of this must have stuck, Guy. Because you and your siblings are good and honest human beings. I have enjoyed coming to the services here at Kamatz, mostly Friday night with all the singing. And when Rabbi Maya reminds us about miracles, small and large, I am reminded about my 4 miracles, healthy and well. One of the meanings of Kedoshim is given to those who are killed in the name of God. Just the beginning of this week, we mourn 6 million of them. I have the honor of working with those who made it out alive and are living here in Israel. It is one of the most wonderful things in the world to hear them talk about their families that are, to them, miracles. When I talk to them about my wonderful children, they say in Yiddish that I should have nachat for my kids. I'm so happy to tell them that my kids have already given that to me. So, Guy, this is my problem. You are already a good and honest person. You are smart and kind and have patience for others. You have a strong sense of what is right and wrong in this world and are not afraid of telling people what's on your mind. Also, a great sense of humor that we all love and enjoy. So, Guy, here is my blessing to you. You should keep on this path and keep growing taller, bigger, and stronger. With all my love, Mommy.
אני מבקש מנעמה to give you the seal and read what is written in it, and then I will bless you with the